Hello folks, welcome to the Tuesday forecast. So let's get right into looking at the market. We did get some interesting moves and I was in some interesting trades. So first let's go over the euro and the US dollar, and as far as I can tell this pair is currently stuck in a range. So we are stuck in this range, and what I can see is that we had this descending, so we did sort of have a nice clean descending, but then price did break to the upside and it did retrace. As we can see here, we broke, left a huge wick, retraced, broke again, left a absolutely huge wick, retraced. And usually when we break the low, retrace, break the high, retrace, we just get a larger range. That is definitely what can happen. And we also know that the euro US dollar likes to range for a long time. So it definitely likes to get stuck in these ranges between the low and the high. So in order to look for a trade, what I would need to see is a nice simple sub and then a flag or a large push down and then also a nice clean flag. I would also consider taking if we do form a cleaner descending structure. So if that does happen, I will look for a reversal to the upside, something like this. If we do start to ascend, I would be a bit more careful and a bit more patient. Why? Because we had this sort of a descending, sort of a range-bound market, and then if we get a descending going into an ascending, we usually just get a larger range like this. So I would need to see some really clean price action. To sum up, currently I'm not looking for anything. I'm looking for a more cleaner and clearer pattern because, as I said, we are now range bound. So let's see if we will get a nice impulse up or a nice impulse down. And now let's switch over to the euro and the Japanese yen. So there is an opportunity to enter currently. So we are sort of trending but more ascending to the upside. Let me actually take this back. So at this point we were kind of ascending and also trending at the same time. As we can see, we got a nice push, pullback, push, pullback, push, but we did break with just one candle and retrace, break with just one candle and retrace. And then at this point I was not looking for anything because we were just getting one candle breaks and leaving large wicks to the upside. But then what happened, we got this push, we got a clean close, so almost no wick. And at this point I did have an order on at the inside bar like this. So I did have an order on because a very common characteristic of this pair is that it can just tag you in with one move and then it just shoots to the upside. So it happens very often, and I'm definitely looking for these sort of trades where it will just, as I said, where I will have a pending order and for it to just tag me in with one candle and then shoot to the upside. But what actually happened, I did not get tagged in, and instead we got a aggressive pullback candle. After that I did remove my order because I don't want to be taking two candle aggressive pullbacks on EJ, only a one candle tap and go. So that is a characteristic of the pair. And we did also form a combo trade, as you can see here. So we did have this first part of the pullback pause, and then we did get this second part of the pullback, which you would get then tagged in. And a combo trade is basically a flag and a break and retest trade in the same sort of a pattern. So I did stay out of this setup because as I said, the prior price action was not that conducive to take these sort of setups, because we were more ascending than actually trending, and euro Japanese yen doesn't trend correctly. So if this was the Aussie and the US dollar, or Aussie Japanese yen, I would 100% be taking these sort of trades. But on the euro pairs I need to see a more of a push. I would only, as I said, be considering taking a a quick tap and go where it just taps me in and then continues with the trend. That is the only sort of a setup I would have considered at this point. So yeah, I did stay out of this combo opportunity. Let's see what will happen. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a reversal, since we are kind of ascending. So I am looking for this reversal to the downside. Or I am looking for to get a large impulse up, and then I would look for a buy trade, because the euro pairs also like to ascend and then give us a push in the same direction as the ascending. That is also a common characteristic. So I am looking for a large push up. If we do get a large push down, I will look to sell on a flag trade. And if we do start to descend like this, I would be a bit more careful with taking any setup, because when we get an ascending going into a descending structure, it usually tends to signal further range bound price action. So I would be a bit more careful with this sort of a setup. So yeah, that's it for the euro and the Japanese yen. As I said, I would be a bit more patient. I would look for a large push up or a large push down, or maybe a reversal. But currently I am sitting on my hands seeing what will happen. And now we do have Oz US dollar, where I was in a trade. So I did take a 1% loss right here. So let me take it back. Actually, for me, this was a very, very, very good trade. I really, really like this. We did have this. For me personally, it was a clean descending. So we were breaking the lows, retracing, breaking the lows, retracing, leaving wicks. As you can see, huge wick right here, large wicks here. We also had this range. So we had a liquidity area below the range, which we broke into and retraced, which is also a very, very good sign. And then we did reverse, and we got a 2 candle break. We got a clean close, so almost no wick. So for me, this was actually a textbook trade, I have to say. And after that, we did get a combo opportunity to enter. As you can see right here, price did form a combo, which is, as I said, a flag and a break and retest, where it retests the most recent high, which would be here. So this was my entry level. And unfortunately, it ended up being a 1% loss, but I was happy risking the percentage and taking this trade, since I did really like this sort of a setup, where we got first a descending, then we got 2 candle break, clean close, and then we got a combo, which is usually the most high probability continuation setup, or a continuation setup or a reversal setup that I use. So what happened then? Let's see. We started to descend. We broke the low, retraced, broke the low, retraced, broke the low, got some momentum, but then reversed to the upside, and we were leaving huge wicks. So I was not looking for a sell trade because of these huge wicks. And then we broke to the upside and left a really, really absolutely huge wick. I don't know if this was news or anything, but it ended up being absolutely huge. And we retraced. And what I'm expecting now, because of this huge wick, I'm expecting to see more of a range bound market, something like this. That is what I'm personally expecting, because when we do get these sort of patterns, usually the market needs to settle down a bit and just ranges for a long time. In order to look for a trade, I would be a bit careful. Actually, I would be very, very careful, because we will then form these liquidity areas if the price decides to range like this. So what I would suggest is look for maybe an ascending into the liquidity area and then a reversal. Same thing to a downside. Or look for a large push up and then a flag. Don't take trades if the price just breaks by a little bit, by 1 or 2 candles, and then just retraces. That would be a bad sign and would probably lead to price creating a larger range. So wait for the break of the low or the high, look for momentum, and if we do get more of a range here, be very, very careful about those liquidity areas that I just talked about. So let's now see the final pair, so the Aussie and the Japanese yen. And I am still in a long trade here. And this one was really, really, really textbook. So what actually happened on the challenge account, I did place a wrong take profit. Unfortunately, I placed it for a 9% profit instead of a 10% profit. And I did get tagged out on the challenge account for a 9% on a 9% or actually a 10% gain, but I was already down 1%, so I'm net profit 9% on the challenge, which is not enough to pass currently, so I still need to make 1% more to pass the challenge. So on my challenge account, I'm out of this trade for a 10% profit, but on my live account, I'm still in this trade because on my live account I just moved the stop loss because there is no required percentage. But let's go over this trade. So this one was really textbook. It can't get any better than this. It was very similar to this one that I took I think it was last week or something. So this one was also a textbook trade. This one was the same. So we got a nice trend up, a really nice uptrend, and then we got this one candle. So as you can see, the pullbacks here, there was kind of a momentum shift, but then we did continue up, and right here there was absolutely no momentum shift in the pullback. We actually got huge double wicks signaling weakness to the downside, signaling that the price cannot be sustained down, and that actually it is very high probability to reverse to the upside. And then we pushed up, got a really clean close, and then I got tagged in, and the price just continued going to the upside, and we got this huge push up, which unfortunately ended up being I think it was also a news candle, and we got a huge wick and a retrace. So let's see what will happen now. I would really like for it to break the high so that I can bank some profit, because currently I am in around 0.7% profit. I have my stops underneath this most recent low. So let's see what can happen. Anything can happen at this point, but what I'm really happy is that I am in heavy profit on the FTMO challenge, so that is good. And I still need to make just 1% more to pass, so I'm really happy about that. But yeah, let's see what will happen. So I am looking if the price will continue up, then I will look to buy, of course, because we are in this very nice uptrend, and the overall uptrend, you can see we're just trending for a really long time, so that is definitely a good sign. Also, what I will be looking for is to get maybe an ascending that breaks the high, look for a reversal down, or maybe a descending that breaks the low, look for a reversal to the upside, something like this. If we do start to range here, what is really the highest probability that we will just range for a long time because of this huge wick. I would say be really careful about these liquidity areas below and above. They can be really tricky. So same thing as on the Aussie US dollar, watch out if you just break and retrace. If you want to take a trade, first look for a really nice push down and then a clean flag, or look for a really nice large impulse up and then also a nice flag. So yeah, I would say be a bit more careful with this pair. Wait for the break of the low or the break of the high, and then look for momentum after the break, or look for it to form a reversal pattern. So that's it. I'm really liking this price action. We are starting to get some moves. The Aussie and the Japanese yen is really trending up heavily. So let's see if I will be able to scale in, maybe pass the challenge, get that 1% more. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow in the next forecast.